Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna and I am so happy that you are here today. I am playing along with Sketch Sunday and the crew. We're all using the same sketch, and this is a sketch, and I do not have anyone's name on it, so I don't know who made it. Um, I did find it on Pinterest, but here I go. The sketch has these 2x3 photos, and I am not one to go and print off 2x3 photos. But I've been documenting hiking photos from June of 24, and I had printed some out already. So I had three or four um 2x3 photos printed off. So I did end up having to reprint one. One was going horizontal. I wanted them all vertical, so I did reprint one, and the one that I had vertical actually is the big horizontal is actually the big photo on the bottom there. Those photos are printed 3.5 by 5. Actually, one is printed 4 by 6 and one is 3.5 by 5. So the bigger one going horizontally is 4 by 6. The one vertically is 3.5 by 5. I went into my stash. So I've got two papers from Reminisce, the forks and the spoons and the knives, and then the one up on top is like Bon Appetit. And so I start off with that, knowing that if you're new here, I like to go not necessarily monochromatic, but dual chromatic. There's a word for it, and I don't know what it is right now. But I like the blues with the photos, and I've already got some browns. So I went into my stash and I pulled all these things out. And I'm not exactly sure what things I'm going to use. Now, I only had the paper, I didn't have any kind of collection, and this is how I do it when I'm not using a collection. I'll just pull from my color boxes and go from there. So I've already glued down a brown ribbon from my stash and a blue ribbon from my stash. And then I've adhered those down with ATG adhesive. I also got the photos on the top glued down. And now before I glue down the photos on the bottom, I'm going to figure out the other elements to the page. Um, I did have this craft tag that's got some dark blue, which is perfect because the craft is brown. And then I found this more coffee, which is blue. It's not exactly the right shade of blue, so I'm going to kind of fix that in a moment. I do have some flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. The smaller one is not from Scrap and Happy Studio. The bigger ones are canvas flare. The smaller one is not. But that's where I'm like, okay, I need something to fix this. Not fix it, but make it look like it's supposed to be there. So I have a Project Life card that I'm just going to layer it over on top to give it some more of that dark blue behind it. I found another Project Life card to be my journaling spot on top. And then with these items, I'm going to start arranging things. I'm still looking for stuff. Oh, I found another tag, um, dark blue. I think it might say like adventure and stuff. By the time or remember, you can see right there, documented. By the time I'm done, I don't think you can see anything. But I've got these little buckles that have been in my stash for absolutely forever, these metal buckles. So I'm picking out those, and then I'm picking out matching brads. And I was kind of going for the copper look because it helps to kind of go with the brown. But when I try to get them all out, I didn't have two of the copper buckles, so or matching the brads, I think, the other brads. So I went with a brassy, like an old tattered brassy color. I have a little bit a different brown ribbon just hanging out in my stash that I'm gonna put through the tag hole there, and you can see that the smaller flare is actually going to go over the tag hole of the craft tag there. The flare on the very top says on my plate, and the one by the more coffee says the best breakfast. Oh, I should tell you about my photos. So this was from my hike in England. It was one of our breakfasts. We had very nice accommodations that were set up all ahead of time, kind of like bed and breakfasts. So this was made by a very nice lady. And we also had someone to carry our luggage. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. We were not carrying luggage on our back, but the company would take the luggage from place to the next, so that we didn't have to worry about that each day. It worked like a charm. But here is one of the breakfasts. We didn't get a picture of her, although I don't know if I don't think we asked any of our hosts to stand there and get a picture, which maybe we should have, but I guess our minds were on different things, but we did have very nice hosts at each place we went. So here again, I've got all my components down pretty much. I will add a few, But I get everything glued down. These, I think, are Paper Studio. They might have even been from the dollar store, but they've just been hanging out by my desk for a while. I decided to use three of these on my page. While I'm putting this page together, I'm listening to an audiobook, which is often the case of what I do. Just wondering what you do while you scrapbook. Do you watch TV? Do you watch YouTube? Um, do you listen to an audiobook or something else? Music would be good too. So I'm going to overlap these two tags. And then the very last thing I'm going to do is figure out what to put on that craft tag. I do have the journaling spot up on top, so I knew I didn't need two journaling spaces. Pages like these, when I don't use a collection, it takes me just a little bit longer because I am going through all my elements to pick out uh, which embellishments I want to use, which enamel dots, which all that kind of stuff, which flare I want to use. It's not all in my color box. I do have my flare separately as well as enamel dots. Those aren't enamel dots, but I think those are from the dollar store. Those blue round things. They're kind of enamel dots, but not. I mean, maybe they're enamel, but they're more dottier than the flat normal ones you would get. But yeah, when I have a collection, I'm a little bit more limited probably to what I can use, and you've got so many coordinated things, it's easy to get a page together. But it does make my heart happy when I get to pull things out of my color boxes that I've been holding on to for a very long time and getting them onto my page where I can look at them and see them. Speaking of that, I recently, oh my goodness, got a Calyx bookshelf from IKEA that has 25 spaces, uh, cub cubicles, and I put all my albums in there, and it is now full up, like to the exact. I cannot get one more in there. Some of them do need new albums because some of the older ones are falling apart. Since I've been starting with Hobby Lobby, there I have not had any issues. Um, but oh, because of that, I was putting them in order, and my albums um are not in order. So I was getting them in order, but I because they're not labeled, I had to go into each album and to look at what the dates were. And because of that, I got to look at a lot of my pages, right? So I saw how my style is changing, but I got to see all those pretty things on the papers, along with the fun pictures of the kiddos basically. So that was quite fun. Now I need another bookshelf for the upcoming albums that I am making. Here I struggle a little bit with the buckle. It really this was easy to use that, but I think this one ribbon was just a little bit wider than the outline and that's or than the slits there, so that's why it took me a little bit on there. And then I will slide them into a spot where I think looks appropriate on the page. And then when I get that figured out, I'm going to take those bigger circular brads, try to figure out where to put those. And I had several different ideas. If those blue dots weren't there on that craft tag, they probably would have went on the side of that. I was trying to kind of stick with a diagonal design, but I really felt like that right bottom corner, it was a blank spot. It could use these and they would look good there. So that's what I do. I take my Tim Holtz pokey tool and make three holes. Um, I went kind of like the furthest up, the furthest down, and then just stuck a hole in the middle, knowing that way the brads would all kind of line up appropriately. So I'm really getting to the end of this layout. I'm super happy to get flare on and out of my stash. The metal pieces um, out of my stash, as well as the ribbon. So it's like a win-win, win-win-win. Plus those arrows were sitting on my desk for a long time. I do have two wooden arrows left, but they'll probably sit on my desk for a little bit longer. I also do have the metal now. I have the metal pieces sitting on my desk. We'll see if those get put away or not, but they do go to crops with me just to be kind of inspirational and see if I can challenge myself to use them. So I do flip it over. I'm going to use this washi tape to adhere down the ribbon as well as covering up the brads so that when you're slipping them in and out of page protectors, they don't stick. And the last thing I do is put this little sticker on there to cover up the tag space, and it says, "Life is a beautiful ride." And with that, that is completes my layout. Until next time, crafting makes my heart happy, and I hope you find what makes your heart happy too.